Chapter 1. Messi and Ronaldo have set new rules in the football world. Success contributes to creating simplified images. However, the reality is an extensive network of people, events, and other specific factors influencing players. Scoring wasn't a priority for Ronaldo at the beginning of his career. In 2007, he believed that 23 goals per season were good enough. Practicing finishing attacks with René Mullenstein, technical skills coach, changed the footballer's mindset and turned him into a goal machine. In 2014 and 15, he scored 61 goals. At Barcelona, Messi and manager Guardiola rarely communicated initially. However, this situation changed before the game against Real Madrid in 2009. Matches between these two teams are so significant and long-awaited that they have a particular name, El Clásico. The manager called the footballer at 10 p.m. to share his eureka moment. He had decided to play Messi behind the central strikers. It became a defensive factor in Barcelona's 6-2 victory. This system also works in the opposite direction. Footballers have the power to impact the whole network. Rarely has the football world experienced a case when two people have dominated all possible awards for a long time. Keep in mind that the mindset of choosing one era-defining footballer needs to be updated. Although the discussion about who is the best continues, it is hard to deny that both Messi and Ronaldo are geniuses. Some of their impacts are more down to earth. The footballer can now leverage his popularity and talent to influence the decisions of the club's owner. When Messi became a player for Paris Saint-Germain in 2021, the club gained 13 million followers on social media in half a week. Similarly, hardly any team can compete with Ronaldo for followers. He has almost 500 million on Instagram alone. Today, we will scrutinize some parts of this network to see the bigger picture and key turning points in the two geniuses' development. Chapter 2. As a kid, Ronaldo coached the boys who played alongside him. Ronaldo and football were inseparable from childhood. It is a classic story for many great footballers, but the specific detail is where the player spent his early years. Madeira. The island's twisting and uneven roads were a natural gym for dribbling. On the other hand, the distance to the country's mainland is 650 miles, so the best Portuguese clubs needed a meticulous scout to find him. Fortunately, Sporting Lisbon had Aurelio Pereira, whose gift was recognizing talent from details others neglected. With his help, players from Luis Figo to Jorge Cadet joined the team. In addition, Pereira's resourcefulness was incredible. He turned Sporting's 90,000 members into his assistants. In a letter to each member, he asked them to write about skillful kids in their area. As a result, the database was immense. Pereira's idea was vital as the club needed more money to hire at least 2 assistants for scouting. Yet at the same time, it required talented players. Like other Portugal teams, Sporting couldn't afford to buy football stars. Pereira treated every recommendation attentively, including a call from Madeira about Ronaldo. As it was difficult for kids from the island to adjust to the mainland, Pereira had doubts. Yet the mention of Nacional, for which Ronaldo played at the time, was crucial. They recently had some negotiations with the club. When the scout saw this kid's game, he knew he was born for stardom. His control of the ball was immense, but it wasn't what stunned Pereira the most. Keep in mind that even as a kid, Ronaldo played and coached on the field. Other boys heeded his advice on where to pass and which position to take. Nevertheless, Sporting's academy could have been a better place. Ronaldo's Madeiran accent made him a target for bullying, making him miss his island and feel lonely. Also, Ronaldo was so skinny that almost any player could bring him down. He was sick and tired of it and decided to work out as much as possible. The club didn't approve of his overwork. Anytime Ronaldo sneaked onto a treadmill, trained in the shower, or used oranges as balls, he got caught. Still, after some time, out-muscling him became a challenge. Chapter 3. Tiny in the locker room, Messi has been a giant on the field. When Messi entered the football field in the Argentine city of Rosario, he outplayed other kids as if they were toddlers. His dribbling and sense of rhythm seemed encoded in his genes. Still, Leo was too short, and the family turned to an endocrinologist. Injections of growth hormones could help, yet treatment was costly, especially when health insurance in Argentina was in crisis. However, when Messi's father started to reveal his talents as an agent, persuading teams to pay the bills was easy. In his hometown, Messi was a star. The local newspaper even asked him a couple of questions. He didn't wait for the calls from agents for long. One of them was from Barcelona. When Leo arrived at the club's youth academy of La Masia for a tryout, Charlie Rexach, sporting director, was in Sydney. While waiting, the boy played with other kids from La Masia. Soon, the whole academy gathered to watch his performance. The boys were taught to pass the ball to score, while Messi could dribble past 5 players. Rexach was astonished by the contrast. Timid and tiny, Messi transformed into a fearless winner on the field. In the beginning, kids laughed at Leo's Argentine accent, strengthening his habit of isolating himself and relaxing with PlayStation. Yet, all of them felt that the boy was special. La Masia nurtured the kids' skills and let the philosophy of positional play become a part of them. Adapting to this style and preserving uniqueness took time, but Messi's team was soon considered the best in the academy's history. At that time, Barcelona was among the most fantastic places for young athletes. The Summer Olympics 1992 spread the appreciation of sport everywhere. Competitions, Olympic venues, and other activities created an inspiring atmosphere. The event was also a celebration of Catalan identity. Did you know half of Barcelona's players at age 18 or 19 are university students, the highest number compared to other top European clubs? Chapter 4. The geniuses' start wasn't child's play. Both superstars were guaranteed places in the first team, yet only a few things went smoothly. Playing with his idols made Ronaldo feel very nervous. Once he got the ball from someone, he returned it. Having overcome this issue, the player swung to another extreme, not sharing the ball at all, which put him in the black books of Sporting's manager. Yet, the need to replace a disqualified footballer gave Ronaldo a chance to show himself. The condition was to use stepovers, pretending to go in a particular direction while running in the opposite direction, and other dribbling moves less often. Soon, Manchester United became interested in Ronaldo. In a match between Manchester United and Sporting, Cristiano crushed the defenders, and the players came into the locker room with a migraine. They didn't expect a 3-1 defeat. No one could believe it was down to a 17-year-old boy. Subsequently, the United players asked the manager to make him their teammate a few times a day, and their wish was satisfied. After winning the Champions League, the Ballon d'Or, and all possible awards in the Premier League, Cristiano decided to move to Real Madrid. Contrary to public perception, Messi and Ronaldo are not antitheses. They're two expressions of the same merciless drive, a physical and psychological need for perfection. Joshua Robinson and Jonathan Clegg. Messi's start in the first team was also challenging since he had to obtain a Spanish passport due to new La Liga rules. This requirement has given other clubs a chance. When Messi's father said his son would play for Milan, the passport came just in time to prevent it. Leo scored the first goal in his new status at 17 years old, and in Barcelona's history, he was the youngest goal scorer. Still, the manager used him on the right wing and not in crucial matches, believing he was not ready. In the national team, the situation was similar. The coach wanted to let older footballers play. Despite the pressure from the media, Diego Maradona and Messi's father, he gave the star a chance to play only when the game was already won. However, when Leo finally got more time on the field, his skills were compared with miracles, especially after his goal that looked almost like Maradona's goal of the 20th century. Messi was soon considered the player who saved Barcelona. Chapter 5. Jose Mourinho could have become Barcelona's manager, but instead he invented an antidote to Barca's positional play. Pep Guardiola found the key to unlocking Messi's full potential. He almost missed the chance since his rival for the manager position was also outstanding, Jose Mourinho. He worked with Barcelona's youth academy, nurturing a few stars and knew the team inside out. The support of Johan Cruyff, the club's legend, seemed to be a decisive factor in the appointment of Guardiola. Mourinho wouldn't forget that. Although the beginning of the season wasn't successful, the new manager had the team's support. Iniesta was known to drop by his office, say comforting words, and ask not to change anything. Still, Guardiola made a change, after which Messi started to play in the center. Since this decision, the only thing left for the other team's defenders was to pray. In the Champions League, victories were more strenuous. Messi didn't get used to so many fouls on him. He tended to pass through Spanish defenders while his team members didn't dare touch him during training sessions. They knew that revenge would be embarrassing. Messi used all his tricks, making the person look miserable. Real Madrid, aka Galacticos, felt in increasing danger when Barcelona won the Champions League title. Perez, president of the club, signed Kake, Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, and Xabi Alonso with one purpose: to return hope to Galacticos fans. Real Madrid needed a manager who could compete with Guardiola. Chelsea's victory over Barcelona with the tactic parking the bus showed the appropriate candidate, Jose Mourinho. His start as a manager also wasn't successful. That season, Real Madrid won only the Copa del Rey, while Barcelona obtained the Champions League title and became the winner of La Liga. Yet, after some time, Mourinho's tactics became more fruitful. During the following years, results fluctuated. One or the other team was at the top. When Guardiola left the club, Real Madrid celebrated first place in La Liga, while Barcelona lost in the Champions League. Did you know? After moving to New York, Guardiola attended the lectures of his close friend at a top university. He also applied his manager's skills there. Gesticulating, he indicated to the professor which student raised a hand. It was hilarious. Chapter 6. Hostility among the biggest Spanish clubs has been embedded in the past. The years of El Clasico, with one more level of rivalry, Messi versus Ronaldo, were outstanding. Two geniuses have beaten the record of all soccer-playing nations, setting the bar that hardly anyone can reach. In another saner world, the fact that two superstars who had spent the majority of their careers playing in the same position could be so stylistically distinct would be a cause for celebration, a reminder of soccer's essential variety. Joshua Robinson and Jonathan Clegg. Nevertheless, what is often associated with El Clasico is not a spectacular game, but hostility. Even members of the Spain national team became fierce opponents on the field. There were a few reasons for that. Firstly, the history of the clubs. When the identity of Catalonia was threatened during the dictatorship, Barcelona decided to be its defender. Tragically, the club president was arrested and executed. At the same time, fascist despot Franco, who wasn't a football fan, used Real Madrid's victories in Europe to promote respect for Spain. In addition, their statuses differ. Barcelona was a representative of Catalan identity and a source of pride. For fans of Real Madrid, the regional factor wasn't crucial. They related to the team's success. That's why what mattered to the club and fans were victories. Greatness was also its indicator. For instance, Galacticos requested that there weren't other football games during the day of its centenary. Remember, for Barcelona, positional play was a priority. Real Madrid invited the best players and allowed them to create their scheme. However, the main reason for hostility was around signings. For instance, Di Stefano. His rights were the possession of one team, but he played for another. They all agreed to sign the footballer to Galacticos and Barcelona, respectively. The Spanish state supported Real Madrid, as the team it contacted had the rights, but FIFA suggested sharing the player. Finally, Barca decided to let Galacticos have players' rights, which was a huge mistake. Di Stefano led Real Madrid to glory. The story of Barca's captain Luis Figo is even more dramatic. Perez prepared a deal. If he became president of Real Madrid, the footballer would move to his club. If he failed, Figo would obtain money anyway. Since Perez's chances were minimal, the star agreed. Yet Perez won. Barcelona lost its core player, and Barca's fans treated Figo as a traitor. Chapter 7. Dependence on geniuses came at a cost. With Neymar and Luis Suarez, Messi shifted from his role of all-purpose talent and focused on scoring. The results were a unique goal differential in La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Champions League title. The club didn't hide its dependence on the genius, even coining the special term Messidependencia. Some say he was able to influence the signings of the team. The extent of Leo's power was evident when Pierre Graticos, a Barcelona staffer, said that Messi's success would be less without other team members. The club immediately dismissed Graticos. For Real Madrid, Ronaldo was also a key player. He continued to be a coach for his teammates. Bale and Benzema had to adhere to his standards and requirements. After Juventus signed Cristiano, the team members privately admitted that Galacticos' morale was damaged. They had no faith in overcoming failures without an unbeatable player. This dependence had a cost. After Ronaldo and Messi became Juventus and PSG players, their clubs couldn't recover from their departure. Financial problems worsened Barcelona's situation. Real Madrid managed to pay its debt when Perez sold the training ground. He also decided to turn Real Madrid into a sports franchise and grasped every commercial opportunity, treating marketing and branding as the pillars of success. Perez signed stars and generated wealth from their popularity. Although Barcelona also made the most of its branding, it didn't get rid of its debt, which was the root of future problems. However, a tendency to turn the club into a brand launched dramatic changes in the football world. Earlier match day income and membership fees constituted the basis of a financial model. As a result, football wasn't profitable at all. Once clubs became a business, investors from UAE and Qatar started to support them, as the story of Manchester City illustrates. Keeping up with these teams was becoming more challenging. After some time, Messi and Ronaldo regretted their decision. League One and Serie A might be won without them. While the Champions League, even these geniuses couldn't change the course of the game. Both players concentrated on the World Cup. Conclusion. Ronaldo and Messi are era-defining players whose talents have forever changed football, raising the standards to unseen heights. Each of them has gradually evolved into the greatest goalscorer in history. Before training sessions with Mullenstein, Ronaldo was a winger who didn't focus on finishing attacks. Messi found out how to realize his full potential only with Guardiola. At the same time, the two footballers have been working for years on personal transformations, overcoming slimness or timidness. Both have always strived to surpass themselves and continue doing it, astonishing fans who expect them to be out of shape by now. It is proof of their willpower, perfectionism, persistence, and resilience. So, despite their different play styles, Messi and Ronaldo have more in common than meets the eye. Their stories aren't limited to praise and achievements and are full of ups and downs. Despite spectacular performances and indispensability at Barcelona, Messi received criticism for the national team's failures. Ronaldo suffered a storm of criticism while playing for Manchester United, even after his return to the club. Now, both geniuses have a unique chance to win the title they lack, the World Cup, while we can relish the opportunity to watch living legends play. Try this. Some of Ronaldo's and Messi's habits are helpful in daily life. For instance, you don't have to go to the gym to work out. Like Cristiano, you may utilize things that are around you. For example, instead of a treadmill, use stairs everywhere you go. Leo has never stopped scoring in the game, even when his team wins 15-0. Try to do a bit more than you planned. Read one extra page or practice language half an hour longer than usual. You can do it.